play of the game from way down.
Silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bombs going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bob says Nico gonna find Rainer.
Oh, the life finder keeps Maev up. It was gonna be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of no! No!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal though.
Death metal into the double, triple kill.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Nexus Gaming series. It's heroic playoff time, and we're going to see a matchup between the number 4 seed Archon versus number 5 n0b0 eSprouts. And we had some problems with Twitch today, so unfortunately this isn't live, but you'll be able to watch it tomorrow either on Twitch or YouTube. So teams are both ready here, so let me go ahead and show the maps real quick here. The bans coming out from Archon, we had the ban on Dragonshire and Towers of Doom, and from n0b0, Brax's Holdout and Sky Temple. The first map picked by n0b0 is going to be Battlefield of Eternity. And let's just take a look at this bracket here. As up in the top, you see Broken Alliance did defeat Probe 1. That happened a couple days ago and was quite an entertaining matchup there. Down at the bottom, we've got Amazing versus Insomnia, and Amazing 2-0 over the Insomnia. So this is going to be Archon and n0b0 eSprouts. So whichever team wins here, going on to face Broken Alliance. But as mentioned, this draft is ready to go, so let's get right into it. All right. We're going to start off with a ban on Abathur. It's been a long time since I've seen an Abathur on BOE, but it is kind of an old staple. Following up with the Garrosh as well. Let's make sure we got the list here correct. BOE. And Ariel making her way into the meta pretty significantly here. We've seen a lot of double supports going Uther Tank with Ariel as a healer. Ariel with Tassadar, another updated hero that got a little bit of love there. So the ban on the Garrosh, what else do they look to ban here? Something with the Engage? No, they go with the Sylvanas. And Sylvanas with Merc Queen has pretty decent race. On top of that, if you win the Immortal, you win hard. And so there's that Engage I was talking about. We're going to see the Alarak coming out here as the first pick, and seeing a lot of Alarak bans these days in Div A and in Heroic. So not a big surprise to see Alarak coming out as the first pick. We're going to have Vala coming out even without the Oriel, still pretty significant here. Followed up with the Rhaegar. So really solid race coming from the Vala. And there's our race potential now here for Archon as well, with the ETC and Li Ming. So a lot of potential threat from the ETC Mosh Pit. So we still have a healer outstanding in a solo lane. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like an Ano or a Stukov. And there's the Tassadar that I mentioned earlier. So we've already got Vala for race. Looking for some more team fight potential. Also, maybe looking for a second support, somebody that can help out the Vala. Could, in some cases, see a Zarya. I don't know if Zarya sees much play in the heroic levels of the division, but instead they're going to go with that double frontline, a very beefy Johanna Arthas combo. That also a little bit deters a potential like auto attack here on the side of Archon, having the blinds, having the Arthas, so we're less likely to see something like a Greymane. Not that necessarily we would, but it takes away the light. And there's the Zarya. Okay, there you go. So Johanna, we've got the Zarya. So going deep into the Vala carry here. I think that's everybody. It is. All right, so game number 1 on Battlefield of Eternity here between Archon on the left and n0b0 eSprouts on the right. By the way, in case you missed it, Leoric and Tyrande were the last 2 pickups there. So I think overall, Li Ming's got some pretty long-range poke to be able to get onto the Immortal. Vala does a lot of damage with that Monster Hunter at level 1, so I'm not sure which team I give the race potential here to, but I definitely feel like Archon has more burst potential if they can land their combos. So let's take a look here. We've got Archon coming up for you here on the left. We've got JTR on Alarak, Visionary on ETC, Midnight Haze on the Li Ming, Little Bex on Tyrande, and Leoric going to be played by Fatal Rampage. On the side of n0b0 eSprouts, we've got Ray on the Arthas. Yonner's on Zarya, Virtuoso on Johanna, Tythe going to be playing the Vala, and Bix with Sticks on the Rhaegar. So taking a look at these talents, we do have that Ruthless Momentum for Alarak for the cooldown reduction, and Power Slide in onto the Johanna, but of course Iron Skin, so the Tyrande Lunar Flare just a little bit too late to prevent the Iron Skin, but ultimately going out to make sure that Johanna is able to walk away there. As far as talents here, Iron Skin was the selection for Johanna. We've got the Rhyme for Arthas, giving him that physical armor. But Power Slide in hits to 3 this time. Lunar Flare does hit the Zarya, but not going to get the completion there. Pull in and silence onto the Zarya this time, and getting a pretty significant amount of damage onto this front line. Whole lot of people to cover for that Vala. But we've got the Particle Grenade quest for Zarya there at level 1. What's that called? Demolitions Expert. Big pull in with the ETC Power Slide. Bix with Sticks in a bit of danger there, but not quite able to get it thanks to that Zarya shield. And Rhaegar gonna hand it back to get topped up. We've got the Power Hungry again for Li Ming, along with the Prog Rock for ETC here. And with pushing the Rhaegar back, we're gonna see Archon get right onto this camp and get some value here started in the bot lane. And with that, the rotation coming up, we do see the Scout, ETC, coming in, looking for the camp invade here, as all 5 members of Archon have made their way here. And this is going to be a bit of a team fight here. JTR a little bit late to the party, but Midnight Haze blinking out because just so much damage here. But the silence going out onto Arthas, 200 health and a shield, but Leoric coming in and securing the the slow, but ultimately it's going to be Tirana getting that kill. Virtuoso making his way out with the lightning shield from the Rhaegar, and a successful camp invade from Archon here, as the Shaman camp now holding this lane in the back, and Leoric going to be able to push up in the front here for a moment. Meanwhile, on the left, Archon's getting onto their own Shaman camp. And in the bot lane, the siege camp did get a little bit. It was mostly cleared up here, so not a whole lot of damage, but it did get some. But with that in mind, right onto the Immortal, and Vala getting a lot of value onto this Immortal already, but power slide in onto the Johanna, and she's got to pop that Iron Skin to get away. Let's take a look at these level 4 talents here, getting that movement speed from Condemn as well. And Arthas trying to get in, slow this whole thing down a bit here, but Vala's the one who gets the power slide. But again, between Rhaegar and the shield coming from Zarya, it's very difficult for them to get the kill here. Close to halftime on the blue Immortal, but Li Ming all the while has been up here working away at the red Immortal. And with that shield, Zarya going in, she doesn't care if she's silenced, she can just sit there and auto attack. But Virtuoso is going to be the first kill of this engagement here. Looks like a second one onto Leoric as well, and that's going to give halftime very close here. Leoric will be back. Most of the race is still available for Archon, but it looks like right now that n0b0's just slightly ahead thanks to the big burst potential out from Vala there. Although Vala didn't even go Monster Hunter. She went auto attacks. Absolutely crazy. Level 7's coming up here, just around the corner for both teams. Just a little bit of a shield here, but that's going to be a bit for n0b0 eSprouts to get some damage onto this wall. We've got Leoric and Arthas in the bot lane here. It looks like Arthas getting a little bit down as Leoric pushing in there, but there's the knockback onto Johanna, but she's nice and safe, doesn't have to worry too much with that Iron Skin, but there goes the Iron Skin, a pull back and the kill onto Johanna as the Demolitions Expert is completed there by Zarya now. And we do get the kill onto the Alarak as well, resetting the Sadism stacks. Checking in on the bot lane here, so Arthas versus Leoric. I can only imagine Leoric's attack speed going into the Frozen Tempest. It's got to be something like once per 2 seconds. Somewhere around equal to an eternity. But all right, now we've got a siege camp pushing in the top lane here with the full team. Power slide in does get onto the Johanna, but just barely. And the rotation down from n0b0, maybe looking to try to catch on to Leoric. Leoric's in full retreat though, as Arthas was pretty heavy on the damage there. Johanna's gonna head back up here, going the safe way to try to slow things out here, try to stall out the damage potential from Archon, as they are just melting the healing well, at least. It looks like they're going to go ahead and back away with that. And with the Immortals in the aggressive sides here, this is going to give n0b0 a little bit of value here, as Vala is able to get a little bit better damage. And there's nobody currently sitting on the Archon, although Leoric is coming up after soaking a bit in that lane. And here he comes, trying to get the slow onto the Rhaegar. We see the retreat, or I'm sorry, the movement calls coming out. Virtuoso getting caught, but does get the unstoppable from Iron Skin there and makes it out. Vala getting pulled in, has that Hunter's Mark on her, but is able to hop away and get healed up here with the healing well. Once again, back onto the Immortal as Johanna right up in the front line there. Big Li Ming orb going out, but mostly just feeding the Zarya here. And it's going to be Leoric going down, caught by that auto attack from Vala. And the chase is real. Vala almost by herself, looking to continue that chase, but ultimately finishes up with just the one kill onto the Leoric. And it looks like we've got n0b0 going back to get onto their Shaman camp. Even saw the retreat ping there as they're going to get onto their Shaman camp, but that's going to give Archon the opportunity to catch up a little bit on the Immortal. And both teams now have their level 10s. So we'll see how this team fight goes as Mosh Pit and Tomb, Shadowstalk, Wave of Force, and Counterstrike face up against Blessed Shield, Graviton Surge, Army of the Dead, Rain of Vengeance, and Ancestral Healing. ETC looking for the Vala, but has to do so pretty far away from the team here, as Arthas doing the same in the back lane on the other side into the Alarak and Tyrande here. But ETC does go in, is already brought down to about half health here. And all the while, there's a Shaman camp going in the top lane, so this is getting decent value here for n0b0, as it is working on this fort as well. So Alarak pulling back has to go deal with that, and that's going to allow now for n0b0 to get the opportunity to come in and start pressuring on this Immortal. And you can see the Immortal's already down. It's only got 2,800 health here as Blessed Shield going out there. The Graviton Surge, I think, as well did, yes. But Vala's just going to obliterate ETC. And that's going to give now the Immortal over to n0b0 eSprouts, getting started now in the bottom lane. Pretty healthy Immortal, still about 3/4 or so of its health in shielding available. And we see those long-range orbs coming from Li Ming, trying to get the damage onto that Immortal, and also to proc it off of a hero to make sure that the cooldown goes down. But Fatal Rampage getting just destroyed here. Counterstrike going out is going to get some decent damage, but there goes the Mosh Pit trying to get onto as many as possible, but only got the one in Rain of Vengeance, shutting it down. And ETC with the second stack of that Rain of Vengeance going straight to the graveyard. And after this bottom fort going down, this Immortal still has about 3/4 of its health here. And with no ETC, it's a lot harder for Archon to really push into this. There's the Graviton Surge, locking down one direction entirely. But ultimately, it looks like the Immortal going to go down with about half of the keep left alive. And a quick rotation down into the bot as Li Ming and Tyrande both had to back. They were low on mana at the very least. And Tyrande's owl coming through here. Not entirely sure what they were looking for. Maybe they were trying to check here for the Shaman camp. Or maybe even just trying to catch the rotation of the group heading up into the top now. Getting to the Shaman camp, or not the Shaman camp, the Khazra camp here. But with the knowledge that they're up top here, we see Archon making their way into the bottom and trying to get this value matched in the bot lane. See if they can't get at least the well, but not quite. And the orb just barely getting caught there on the corner. Fatal Rampage, though, in a bit of danger here, is going to use the Wraith Walk to try to disengage from this 4-man attack. And 13s were picked up for n0b0 eSprouts, and Rhaegar trying to get the kill, and ultimately is able to be successful in that endeavor. Both sides now picking up an additional fort. But we're now going to see the rotation here from n0b0. They're going to try to catch this team here on their way back, and it looks like they'll get a Blessed Shield going out, the Graviton Surge onto ETC and Alarak. ETC does get pulled out of it, or charges out of it, but Alarak's still pretty low here, but Leoric's in the back and could potentially get an Entomb. No, he doesn't have the Entomb, so he's just trying to slow down the damage with that Wraithwalk level 13. So only the one kill onto the Alarak, but that does reset his sadism all the way back to that 90. And here comes the big push onto the Immortal, working its way toward halftime. And that's going to give here Archon a moment at least to deal with the Shaman camp in the bot lane. They're going to clear up what's left of the top push here. And this is unfortunate positioning for Archon, as it's a lot harder to defend on this side of the map. And now with that Shaman camp going in the top lane, going to be very difficult. They've got to get this over as quickly as possible. The Entomb maybe even allowing the Vala to get out of there and ultimately interrupt, and that's going to be the kill onto Alarak. Holy smokes, as 4 heroes dying on the side of Archon, just getting loads of damage here onto the ETC, the Leoric, the Tyrande, and it's Li Ming is the only player on the side of Archon to survive that battle. Did Rhaegar take cleanse? Rhaegar did take cleanse. So it's possible Rhaegar popped the cleanse on Vala and used the Rain of Vengeance. Might have to go back and check that later. But we did see the mosh pit, and it kind of moved itself back with the Entomb there, so I kind of wonder if that might not have been part of it too. But there's the Entomb onto 2, the Lunar Flare coming out, but the pull actually pulls both Johanna and Vala closer and missing the Lunar Flare because of it. ETC trying to finish the job on the Johanna, they do, but Vala gets the kill onto Li Ming, and that's going to be the top keep going down here. And n0b0 looking for blood here. They're looking for that Alarak, and they get him. Leoric trying to do whatever he can to slow down this damage, but ultimately ETC falls as well, and now the Immortal knocking back Leoric. Gonna secure another kill, and it's just Tyrande, and there's not a whole lot she's gonna be able to do to slow down this assault. Bix with sticks trying to see if maybe they can't get one more kill, but Little Vex makes it off to the graveyard. We're heading off to game number 2 as n0b0 eSprouts picking up game number 1 decisively on Battlefield of Eternity. 3 kills to 17. Now keep in mind, these teams are very close, number 4 and number 5 in the Heroic division. So these are quality top level teams. Show off these talents here as well. So a lot of damage there. Let's take a look again at those numbers here. 70k damage for that Vala. Absolutely monstrous. 50k for the Li Ming. Such a huge difference there. And all right, game number 1 going over to n0b0 eSprouts. Let's go ahead and pop that off for their point. And that was their map pick. As Archon wanted the first pick. So we'll have to see where we go next. But let's go ahead and take a short break while we wait on game number 2 between Archon and n0b0 eSprouts. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and we're going to be going to Infernal Shrines. We're doing all the Diablo maps tonight. Just saw Battlefield of Eternity, which was selected by n0b0 eSprouts and won by n0b0 eSprouts. And now heading over to Infernal Shrines, let's take a look at these maps once again here. So, again, the bans coming out from Archon were on Braxis, followed up by Sky Temple. And for n0b0 eSprouts, we've got the bans on Towers of Doom and Dragonshire. Game number 1 was picked by n0b0 eSprouts, and ultimately they won that game for the map on Battlefield of Eternity. Archon picking Infernal Shrines. We'll see how this one goes, as we are now set up in the draft. And continuing with tradition, we've got a Garrosh ban here right out of the gate. No changes with the first pick selection here. Going to be an Ana on the other side this time, though. Now, last time they banned the Sylvanas. This time it's going to be a Zeratul. And sticking with that Abathur. On Infernal Shrines, I can see that, for sure. Still a lot of potential for Abathur to get significant value here. And we're going to see, once again, the first pick onto Vala. So we'll see if the Oriole comes into play, the Tassadar comes into play. Neither of those heroes have been banned yet. And instead, it's going to be Ariel going over to the side of Archon. So no Ariel here to have with the Vala battery. But they will get the Tassadar along with the Rhaegar. So still sticking with that, that potential shielding. So, a little bit different from the Zarya of last round. We're going to see the Johanna ban coming out. Knight had Jaina. Alright, so last ban here against Archon. What do you want to get rid of? You got rid of... We could see even the Alarak or like a Maiev or something like that. Another one of those engages. But instead they're going to get rid of the Diablo. Oops. Shit. There we go. Alright, so going with the Jaina Oriole here, we're gonna get the Blaze Uther, a little bit ahead of me there. And you know, as I mentioned earlier, we've seen a lot more of the double support meta, so we're gonna see that in the Oriole and the Uther. But this Uther very likely is going to be played as the frontline as opposed to the healer support type of Uther. Yeah, especially since Visionary was their tank last game. We're going to see the Mal'Ganis and Malthael, so I'm going to be screwing those names up the entire game. You can bet on it. Mal'Ganis, there we go. And the last pick here, JTR going into the Kerrigan. So quite the interesting front line here with the Uther and Kerrigan. And giving them the potential to get that dive maybe in on that Vala, and with a Divine Shield, Kerrigan could go get a lot of work done there. We could also see Bunker coming out to help with the last rites potential from Malthael. Because, of course, Uther's armor bonus from Devotion doesn't really help with that. But we're going to get into game number 2 here. Between Archon and n0b0 eSprouts. Archon looking to tie this series up. n0b0 eSprouts looking to close it out. Because, again, this is the quarterfinals. Quarterfinals are best of 3. They don't start the best of 5s until next week. All right. On the left, we've got Archon. Midnight Haze playing the Jaina. Fatal Rampage on Blaze. JTR on Kerrigan. Little Bex on the Ariel. And Visionary on the Uther. Over here on the right, we've got n0b0 eSprouts. We've got Tythel on Vala. Bix with Sticks once again on Rhaegar. Yawners on Tassadar. Virtuoso going to be playing the Mal'Ganis, and Malthael going to be played by Ray. And taking a look at these talents here, so we do have the auto attack quest there for Uther, given that Hammer of the Righteous, some mana return, and also a shorter cooldown with those auto attacks. And Psystorm picked up for the Tassadar. Globe quest for Jaina going into Fingers or Frostbite. Right? Frostbite? Fingers of Frost. Frostbite's their base level. Never mind. Is that Vampiricore? Time to feed. Okay, no. So that's just extra damage for him. Vala taking that same build here and Lightning Shield here for Rhaegar as well. So we are going to see the teams split up a little bit here to gather the soak in each of these lanes. And Malthael's going to head top. Now, Malthael does have On a Pale Horse here, so is going to be able to do that double soak rotation. And Tassadar using Oracle to show just who is on this siege camp for Archon. Ping's calling out, knowing that that's going on. And it looks like we will get the camp completed here. A 4-man sleep from Mal'Ganis. But that's all they wanted. They just wanted to slow it down, keep them from engaging in on the team. And that gives a clear on that siege camp to Archon. And they're rotating on the way down now here with the Uther. Looking for those stacks. How's he doing on the stacks? Uther sitting at 17. And the camp clear pretty quick here between the Jaina and Kerrigan. So they're able to get that bottom well before n0b0 eSprouts is in a position to really consider looking at it. They do pop that Oracle to check the vision. But in the bot lane, here it is. 4-man push into the 3-man defense with the siege camp going here. So they're going to get a little bit of value. Might get so far as to get the tower, but it doesn't look like it's quite enough. So the rotation up. Now dealing with Mal'Ganis in the mid lane. And again, as mentioned, you know, very significant wave clear here from the Jaina Kerrigan. Speaking of Kerrigan, I don't see enough of Kerrigan. Let's showcase those talents here. So wait, what was that? After casting Ravage. Oh, got it. So she splashes around, so she gets a little bit of cleave, which I can see that being very valuable on a map like Infernal Shrines. She also has the Kinetic Fulmination, increasing the damage from her Impaling Blades based on the number of enemies hit. We're going to see Blaze and Malthael hang out in the mid lane there, trying to get the soak that each of these teams needs to catch up to level 7 so far here. 17 skeletal defenders picked up on the side of Archon, and Virtuoso getting brought down pretty low, and the Kerrigan combo is going to secure that kill. And Kerrigan just being left alone now to deal with this shrine, just a little bit over the halfway mark, as Uther getting taken out by the Vala just below here. Sorry for missing that, guys. I was pulling up talents. So 31-2. And Mal'Ganis coming in here. Don't think there's any way that they stop this. So an Arcane Punisher, early game, coming into this top lane. It is the first Punisher of the game here. Take a quick peek and just check in on Blaze and Malthael. And we'll head back. Punisher gonna get baited over the wall there. And the lasers at this point in the game don't do a ton of damage, but you know, as per usual, it's greater than 0, so still something you don't want to just stand in. But we saw a couple of those lasers going over that healing well, and as you can see, it's still got about 40% or so of its health. It's a good way to start here for Archon, getting the pressure in the top lane, and now they're going to work on their Shaman camp. Both sides are going to do that here. And Mal'Ganis working on this soak in the mid lane here, while Malthael is in the bot lane doing the same. But up in the top, we've got Uther gathering that soak up top. He's going to head down into the bulk of the team here. And it looks like Archon making their way to get this siege camp once again in the bot lane. Now this time, looks like it's going to get sniffed out a little bit sooner here, as the full rotation coming in from n0b0, and it looks like they are going to sneak in and steal that camp here. Virtuoso popping the sleep. What is that? Night Terrors or something like that? Night Rush. And the combo going out, this time on to JTR. Mal'Ganis trying to make use of those Fell Claws, gets the stuns out. And level 10 ultimates available now for both teams. So we do have Force Wall for Tassadar, Rain of Vengeance for Vala, Ancestral Healing, Carrion Swarm for Rhaegar and Mal'Ganis, and the Last Rites for Malthael here. And Visionary is pretty far in here. The sleep going out, the wall locking down and keeping Uther from getting away. Carrion Swarm getting some damage in onto the team here as Littlebex gets caught by the Rain of Vengeance, but is going to be able to get away. But it looks like JTR not so lucky with that Force Wall preventing the escape. And level 10s here also available for Archon, so we do have the is it Assimilation? Let's take a look here. Maelstrom, there we go. We also have the Bunker, Crystal Aegis, and it looks like Littlebeck's gonna have to use that Crystal Aegis right away, and it looks like they'll be able to make it out. But all of that wall taken down here by n0b0 eSprouts in the bot lane. Other two ultimates here, Ring of Frost and Divine Shield coming out from the Jaina and Uther. So, looking for that protection to give their Kerrigan the ability to just dive in and go ham. Looking on those squishy targets. And there's the combo in onto the Mal'Ganis. The cleanse does go out, so Mal'Ganis is able to make it out. Has the lightning shield as well. But Virtuoso getting caught here, gets put to sleep, and the Force Wall coming in. Last Rites securing that kill, making sure that Vala can finish the job. Ancestral going out onto Ray, and Carrion Swarm bringing down those health bars in the back of Archon. Jet Propulsion was going out. I think he got put to sleep there, though. And once again, the Force Wall keeping Fatal Rampage from being able to get out of there. And that's going to be yet another kill. These Force Walls have been just absolutely terrifying. Placed perfectly to make sure that the enemy was not able to get away, that they had no ability to walk around it even. We do have nullification for now for Tassadar as well, so that's going to help with the Kerrigan, although it's not going to matter when the D-Shield's on her. But once that D-Shield expires, Tassadar can hopefully slow things down a bit. Jaina on the other side sitting at about 7,300, just a little bit under half on her Frostbite quest. 62 so far for the Uther on his level 1, so no cooldown reduction just yet, but looking to get that soon. And making their way onto the wall here, so there's the jump from the Punisher onto Uther, just barely missed with the Force Wall, so that's going to allow Uther to get away. Ray getting the combo, pulling him in, but I was able to make it out away from the Impale. Or the Impaling Blades, I think is what that one's called. And that's going to be, once again, the wall down here for n0b0 eSprouts, pulling in the what they can out of that keep wall. And they've got a quick burn on this mid siege camp, but Archon's able to make it up here, but because of the force wall, not able to get there before the siege camp is captured. So they're going to stop and kill that, while the bot siege camp was picked up by Malthael here, and the rest of the team picking up the other mid siege camp. So macro pressure coming all over the place from n0b0 eSprouts, looking really strong in this matchup. And so far, just the one structure down, just the one fort for either team. Continuing on with the camps, n0b0 eSprouts does pick up their Shaman camp here. They're 2 levels up. So while that doesn't provide them the additional talents, it does provide them with additional damage and health and all that good stuff. So there's still a little bit in this lead, now 1 level. And they're looking to get what value they can out of this Shaman camp here. Popping the Oracle, making sure that the rest of the enemy team is not nearby here, but instead we're going to see Archon making their way to push down in the bot lane, trying to get some kind of equalization in this bottom focus so that they also have catapult pressure, but that's going to give the top fort over to n0b0 eSprouts. Not only does it do that, but it also gives n0b0 eSprouts 16, and they're going to get this Shaman camp. And that's going to give them now a double Shaman camp as Archon making their way onto the bottom keep. So neither of these keeps here, which are going to go down, both teams are working on it. Neither of these keeps are in the immediate vicinity lane of the next Punisher. But having these keeps down is a huge value for both teams, as winning a solid team fight means that they can move their way onto the core. So it'll remain to be seen until until we see the next Punisher, who that's going to provide more value for. I think at least right now that's probably more value for n0b0 because it's a keep down, and they also have a fort down in the bot lane. So, you know, while for Archon they do get the keep, there are still going to be some catapults spawning for n0b0 eSprouts here, so not quite as much value. And the little bit of counter synergy there with the Night Rush comboed with the Force Wall here, but Jet Propulsion coming in, Mal'Ganis getting a little bit low here, Ring of Frost gonna hit, D-Shield coming out onto Kerrigan, kind of negated with the bunker though, and it's gonna be Blaze going down first, and the health bars of Archon are so low. Last Right's coming out, secures 1 more kill. The second kill, I think, onto Jaina. So that's a 3-for-0 trade here, and that's going to give now n0b0 eSprouts the clear onto this mid Punisher, which is going to be a Frozen Punisher, by the way. All right, mid fort is down. The Frozen Punisher is going to be able to lock down the keep as well. Now, in the regular season, Archon defeated n0b0 eSprouts 2-1. So these are teams who previously faced off and had had a balanced match here. Visionary going to get caught by the Punisher, but the Crystal Aegis prevents the kill from the last rites. And Uther's going to get caught by that root there, but they keep going down, and this Punisher's still at half health. Launching itself onto the Blaze, but Blaze goes into the bunker here. Jet propulsion's out, and Kerrigan getting that stun in onto Virtuoso. Blind as a bat coming in here, just throwing out those Fell Claws, trying to hit anything. And just a little bit of a zoning root there. Actually, it might have gotten the Mal'Ganis, I'm not sure. That might have been the root from the Punisher. But there's the Ancestor coming out. Jet propulsion in onto Bix with Sticks. Rhaegar trying to make it out now. And the jet propulsion going out once again. And this time Mal'Ganis going to go down. The Force Wall being used for the disengage. And that's going to be 2 keeps now here for n0b0 eSprouts. They did not get any core damage on that. But they did get a keep. And we're going to see now Archon making their way to just the one siege camp, it looks like. Originally, it looked like they were going to both. But realizing their somewhat limited time, they went ahead and got the aggressive one first. And time to clear up the catapult pressure in the bot lane, because even though they do have occasional catapults, the constant catapults, actually that's kind of weird that the occasional catapults were doing more value there in the bot lane. But now up in the top here, that Shaman camp making its way to the core, so that's got to be dealt with by Archon here. And it looks like Jaina's, oh, does she get caught? Does she get caught? Oh, so close. Oh, Malthael was, if Malthael didn't face check that bush, if he throws out his line, that Jaina dies. I think it was safe that he didn't need to, because of course they saw that so many of the heroes were back. And now we're level 20 here on the side of a n0b0 eSprouts. What does that upgraded Carrion Swarm do? Ah, yes. Of course it puts more people to sleep just because they're in the radius. So, let's see. That's going to give the additional range for Farflight Quiver for Vala. The shield talent for Tassadar there, giving shields to everybody in range here. They're trying to catch up to JTR there, but a couple of mounted individuals not quite able to make it there. Malthael not selecting his level 20, of course, because he's probably considering the respawn talent here. And the next Punisher is going to be in the top lane, so we said earlier, wonder who's going to get more value out of this, and it's looking like it's going to be n0b0 eSprouts. Level 20 is now available here on the side of Archon as well. And here it comes here. So we got the improved bunker, the Laws of Hope, I think is what this is called. Shield of Hope, rather. Of course, the redemption from Uther, Bolt of the Storm from Kerrigan, and the upgraded Ring of Frost here for Jaina. So let's check this out. Uther getting caught, goes into the Crystal Aegis, the Ring of Frost coming out, and good night, Vala. Mal'Ganis is deep in there, is also going to die, and Malthael looking for a kill, but gets the Ice Block. And that is going to be a 3-for-0 trade. Malthael is coming back here. Tassadar is heading off, going to try to get additional damage into the bot lane. Maybe clear up this lane here. And we're going to see the rotation from Archon trying to make their way into the core here. Tassadar's heading back. And it's a Rhaegar, Malthael, and soon-to-be Tassadar here to defend this core rush. It's going to be a tall order, I think. Still 15 seconds before Vala's back here. Ring of Frost going out. Does hit onto the Rhaegar. Uther does go down, but Uther will return soon. Crystal Age is coming out. Midnight Haze is going to get caught by the last rites, and 30% on the core. JTR falling. Just the Kerrigan and the Uther, and they both go down, and it's 16% still on the core, but Uther may be coming back soon. So if he is coming back soon, right? No, he's not. He came back earlier. Never mind. And now n0b0 heading to the core, and with these long death timers and catapults already close by, this is looking like n0b0 eSprouts gonna make it all the way to 2-0 over Archon, sending Archon away for Season 7 in NGS, and they will move on to play against Broken Alliance. GG's being called. What a solid defense from that 3 versus 5. Coming out from n0b0 eSprouts. Five kills to 14. Another solid game in the hands of n0b0 eSprouts here. And let's see if we can get quick interview. Let's see. All right, so show these talents here as well. Level 20s achieved for both teams. And make sure that we give them their point.
Yo.
All right, welcome. So is it just you joining us for tonight?
Yeah, it'll just be me.
All right, good deal. Well, hey, listen, congratulations on your 2-0 victory. That's got to feel sweet after your guys' 2-1 loss to them in the regular season, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. It's yeah, definitely an improvement. It feels good.
So you guys played a pretty fantastic couple of games there, both BOE and Infernal Shrines very much in your favor. I mean, there was no real significant counterplay. There was definitely some pressure back, but you guys had pretty much all the kills, it seemed like, in both of these games. What kind of prep did you do setting up for this team?
Well, I knew, I guess it won't be throwing them under the bus now, but we kind of went back and identified a lot of games we lost against them were either revolved around the two heroes that we banned in game 2, Zeratul and Garrosh, that we banned both games.
Yep.
And I don't want to give too much away about our draft prep, just because it's still going to be relevant going into next week.
Sure.
But yeah, that was pretty much it. We knew those were picks that were strong and comfortable for them, and we wanted to remove them, and then we wanted to play our game, which we were able to do. -1 scuffed fight top lane on Shrines.
Sure. Well, and I gotta say, you know, especially in that second game, watching the Force Walls in particular had me, you know, giddy as a schoolgirl, just like watching as Yawners was just dropping those exactly where they need to be every time, and almost every single, you know, wall turned into a kill, right? And Tassadar is one of those heroes that I first hated him, absolutely just hated him way back in the day, 3 years, 4 years ago, whenever. And then I started to play him, and I'm like, oh, this hero's so fun. And it's so great to see him in more competitive play, and seeing him here. I mean, obviously they even banned him out in game 1 against you guys on the Battlefield of Eternity. So yeah, pass that along to Yawners that I was really impressed with the Tassadar play, and appreciate them picking that up.
Will do, man.
So you played on the first game, Johanna?
Yes.
So you guys, so okay, so your draft there, First of all, did any of that get adjusted based off what they banned? Is that what you were looking at going into that draft, or did that get adjusted a little bit when they started banning things out like the Ariel and Tassadar?
We adjusted. I mean, yeah, I'd say we adjusted a little bit. Our general game plan remained the same, but tiny adjustments.
Sure. Maybe instead of the Tassadar, you go into Zarya or something like that. My brain's a little bit slow and foggy here because it's been a long day of casting, so I apologize for a little bit on the delay on questions here. So overall, though, a very strong performance from both teams here. You guys picked the first map, Battlefield. They picked Infernal Shrines. Was there anything different that... Man, I'm trying to think of questions that aren't going to lead you down a path of what's coming up next. So how about this? Why don't we ask this? So you guys are playing against Broken Alliance next week. And number one seed in Heroic Division, which, of course, Heroic Division sitting at the top of NGS. Have you guys already started planning? Is that something that you even considered, or one step at a time? And certainly don't give away any strategies, but how prepared are you for Broken Alliance given their standing and how you guys played against them previously?
Well, I think what I can say is that I do have prep, but it's prep for the meta rather than for a specific opponent, right? I have nothing like. There's no expectation for us going into that match, right? Like, they're pretty much the uncontested first seed. It would be a huge upset if we were to win. So we have nothing to lose. Without giving up specific picks, I have a pretty hard read on what I perceive the meta to be right now. And if I'm right, we might be able to make something happen. And if not, that was the expected outcome anyway, right?
Fair enough. Well, you know what? You guys played fantastically tonight. At the end of the interviews, I always ask one question. What was your favorite moment out of the series tonight?
Oh, for me?
For you?
Other than just getting to play Mal'Ganis in general, which, I guess I draft, so I could pick it every game, but it was actually, a good pick there, was I got a really nice blind as a bat in a choke point when they tried to come fight us. That just felt really good. It's my favorite talent in the game. Getting sick value out of it was nice.
Yeah, that's one of those talents where you either it's an all or nothing, right? You get absolutely boatloads of value, or you run around and hit absolutely nothing because you can't see anything.
I had one of those too.
You did. There was one at the core. You did eventually hit somebody though.
Yeah. I got one, so it worked.
Well, good deal. Thank you very much here. And again, this is going to be uploaded. This isn't directly live because of the problems with Twitch. Although I think I saw somebody. Yeah, somebody else just went live, so I'll be uploading this here right away. So before we go, any shout-outs you'd like to make for people watching in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout-outs to my team. We really pulled it together. We executed the way we wanted to play tonight. I think it was a much better representation of what n0b0 is than what we've been showing in previous weeks. So I'm really happy with that. Shout-outs to them. Shout-outs to Bix with Sticks for filling in for us tonight. He's a really excellent just player in general, but so thanks to him for showing up to sub. Shout outs to Archon. Those guys are awesome. I love them. Looks like it came out for us this time, but it could have gone either way easily. Shout outs to you for casting. Thank you so much. And yeah, I think that's it.
And there was one other thing I was going to ask you guys. So you last season in season 6 were at the in the upper tiers of Division A, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were. It was like Dread Pirates, us, and Queen's Consorts were kind of the contesting each other for top spot.
Gotcha. So how does it feel coming into Heroic, since we're in the playoffs here at the beginning now? How did that transition feel for you as a team? And did you guys have any roster changes between the seasons that helped you to shore up any potential weaknesses that you had before going into that, or did you just feel strong going into it?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, we did have a roster shakeup. We added Yonners to the roster, but I wouldn't say that grossly changed our dynamic or anything like that. I think I think we're just rising to the occasion, is how I would say. Like, we're playing up to our competition, or kind of. Sometimes we're doing that.
Fair enough, fair enough. Like being in a goldfish, right? The bigger the pond, the bigger the goldfish, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough. Well, hey, listen, again, fantastic play tonight, and what a way to finish that game, too. You guys pulling off that solid defense with the, let's see, who was that? Bix, I think.
Shoutouts to Ray.
Yeah,
it was Ray and Bix and
Yawnners.
I think.
Yeah.
Tassadar, just hypercarry mouth ale.
Yeah, pretty
Shoutouts
much.
to that.
Absolutely monstrous, making sure that Last Right's got that kill, shutting down the team 16% on the core. Absolutely just fantastic. So, you know what? Again, congratulations, enjoy your victory, and I think that the final game was set up or called a forfeit, maybe, so you guys should be able to get things all set up and scheduled for your next round opponents here pretty soon.
All right, sounds great.
All right, thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
All right, thank you. Yeah, you too.
All right, and that's going to wrap us up here for the quarterfinals. Does it say Division A? Oh, man, I didn't change that. Well, this is not Division A. This is Heroic. This is a Heroic division. The overlay doesn't change the division information when you do it based on the playoffs. But that was Archon and n0b0 eSprouts. 2-0 n0b0 eSprouts over Archon, the number 5 seed, defeating the number 4 seed. And let's go ahead and take a quick peek at the brackets here once I update this for n0b0. So that's going to send n0b0 into the semifinals against Broken Alliance. And Amazing will play against Keanu Reeves or Mismo Skillshots. I don't know which one of them forfeited. But ultimately, that gives us our round of 4 opponents. And just as a reminder, semifinals are best of 5. So these are going to be long matches between these teams. At least 3 games, potentially as many as 5. And these are going to be some absolutely fantastic games to watch, so make sure you tune into those. Check the calendar for that. But other than that, everybody, thank you very much for looking back and checking out this stream after the fact, and appreciate you stopping by. That's it for us tonight. Have a wonderful day. Good luck with all the teams remaining in the playoffs, and we'll see you again soon here.